4G this time, so the connection should be more reliable than it was, because the Wi-Fi seems to drop signal from time to time, but this should be more reliable. So anyway, right, with regard to the scales, can you guys give me some reasons why you think that the scales might not actually move?
Okay. You're not being as consistent as you think you are.
Yep, okay. Right, anything else?
Hormones, water retention, constipation.
Yep. Okay. Right. No?
Oh dear.
Anything else?
Gaining muscle.
Too many carbs. Sorry.
Too many carbs. Okay. Yep. Anything else? Anything else? Let's hear someone else then.
Gaining muscle.
Gaining muscle. Yep. Absolutely. Anything else?
Just not sticking to the plan.
Yeah, so not being consistent enough for it and not sticking to it, yeah. Anything else?
Your scales didn't work right.
It's never that one, ever. Okay. Right, I've just listed off some reasons here. I've got a good article that has that covers like 18 reasons why. But some of the most common ones that I come across are too much fruit is one of the ones that I've come across quite often. So that's where people are having several pieces of fruit a day. So I would recommend 1 to 2 only a day. Fruit is healthy, but there is still a lot of sugar in there, and so you can end up having just too much sugar coming from the fruit alone. So that's one of the reasons. Another one that's a common one is medications as well. So I can't advise you on meds, and it's not for me to tell you anything what to do with any meds whatsoever, but they do affect results, I can tell you that much. Even painkillers, I've seen it happen. I've seen someone that I was training get a knee operation done, and post-operation she was on a load of painkillers and her body weight rocketed at the time, and it came back down again immediately as soon as she got off the painkillers. So yeah, that can happen. Any sort of antidepressants, stuff like that as well. Another one is too few calories can cause stagnation for some people. For other people, it doesn't seem that. There's people that go on these extreme diet plans where they have like 600 calories a day, which is ridiculous. But some people get good drops on that, and I would never recommend that anybody does that sort of thing. But there's other people who just don't budge an inch if they're consuming too little calories, and their body just holds on to body fat because it feels like it's being starved, and your body's very, very smart at keeping you surviving. Another one is the female contraceptives. So if you'd like to sign the disclaimer right now to say that if you happen to have any kids. So yeah, the female contraceptive dries up estrogen levels, and that can actually cause weight gain or prevention of weight gain as well. What else was I going to say? Yeah, if you gain a pound of muscle and you drop a pound of fat, the scales stay the same, but your clothes get looser. Okay. The menopause is another one. Too carb orientated or too grain orientated. So people will typically be so hooked on having carb meals all the time that they'll have, you know, they'll have their porridge in the morning, and then they'll have their oatcakes at lunch, and then they'll have some bread, and then they'll have some this and some that. And if it's really grain orientated all the time, then the pounds just ain't going to be coming down. So that can happen. Again, it's not something that happens with everyone. Some people will get away with it. Other people won't. So get some decent quality fats into you, get lots of veg into you for hormone balance, okay? And some selected carbohydrate sources only. So don't, I know that you guys, obviously I advise you guys on having only certain types of carbohydrates and not wheat-based ones, and that is because of the amount of people that have sat in front of me and I've gone through their nutrition with a fine-toothed comb, and every single person who's carrying extra body weight, always, bar none, has too much sugar and too many wheat-based products, and that is entirely where their weight gain seems to be coming from. It's the two things that came up every single time, bar none. Okay, too much alcohol, so too many drinks at the weekend. Too much alcohol can cause weight gain, partly because of the calories in alcohol, partly because of the blood sugar spikes, because generally the alcoholic drinks are paired with sugary mixers. So yeah, there are alcohol options that would be better for you to have, including the clear spirits with soda water, so that it doesn't have any sugar, or artificial sweeteners. That's the cat. That's Denise's cat pestering me for food, and yeah. So sugary mixers with the alcohol, so those can cause blood sugar spikes. That can cause weight gain. Okay. So
And the other thing, Derek, the other thing with alcohol as well, I read that when your body's trying to deal with alcohol, it shuts down its processing of food stuff. So so basically your body goes into fat storing mode until it's dealt with the alcohol. So it means it's not dealing with the rest of your food very well either.
did they give you a time limit on how long it takes for the body to deal with alcohol?
Well, I can't quite remember. I need to read it again.
Okay. I know that it takes, well, I read before a while ago that it takes 8 days for your body to clear sugar out of your system, but I've no idea how long it takes for your body to process and deal with the alcohol. But definitely hitting the bevy at the weekends can undo everything that's been done during the week. Being a bit inconsistent, so not being consistent enough. So I would recommend minimum 80% adherence to a healthy nutrition plan, ideally 90%. So there are people, I used to work with for and with another trainer, and he used to put these posts up saying guilt-free weekends. You know, it was as if you could just go on the lash and eat what you want and piece it up and get the pounds and inches coming off. And I got pissed off with the fact that he was posting this up, because it's just not true at all. There are no guilt-free weekends. So by all means, have a life. But if you go on a lash at the weekends and hit it big time, then the pounds go on rather than off. Okay, so not being consistent enough. Hormones being all over the place. So one of the ways to regulate hormones is actually eating tons of vegetables and getting lots of good nutrients in you. That can help with that. So plenty of veg. Okay, water retention, ladies, time of the month, the week before and the week of, especially, can see body weight going up, and then it will tend to come down after that time. So it could be any of those. There are umpteen other reasons as well, but those are kind of the most kind of common ones that tend to come up most often. Okay, and it's hard to put a finger on exactly what one is unless it's quite obvious, unless everything else is hunky-dory and it's maybe just one particular thing and one thing only. Okay, but regardless of that, I want to look at also what you're getting in addition to any weight reduction. So this will be, I'm going to go into this in detail. So it might be, well, you might get a few surprises about some of the things that actually are happening in your body, in addition to getting body weight coming down. Okay, so it's important to be able to know this, because then you won't be, well, you're unlikely to be focused just on the scales or on that number on the scales once you've seen some of the other benefits that you'll be getting. Bloody cat, it's at me, it's doing me all the time for food. He's actually got food in his dish and I refuse to give him anything else. However, he's at me for other food. Now that's tough because he ain't getting any, because he's agreed to it. So anyway, we're going to go on and I'll share my screen with you, and then we'll go through this. Okay, so let's see. Right. Okay, so the topic is the number on the scales versus, okay, so versus other benefits that you'll be getting. So I'll try and rattle through this, but you guys can comment at any point, because you're not making any background noise, apart from that person who's making that noise, Lee.
Shit, sorry. So I could see.
Right, so if you don't make any noise, then I won't mute you, but if there's noise, then I'll mute you out, and then you can unmute yourselves when you want. So, benefits you might be getting. Does anybody actually want to fire off some benefits that you might have experienced, or things that you think you might be experiencing as a result of eating healthier and exercising regularly? Okay, so just fire some off.
Increased energy.
Yep,
Clear
increase.
skin.
Okay, increase.
Less tired.
Yep, less tired. Yep. Anything else?
Good mood.
Good, better mood. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anything else?
Clearer skin.
Aye, my skin's quite clear. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anything else? There's loads and loads and loads and loads, which I'm going to go through, but you've actually come up with some ones that I didn't add in, but carry on anyway. Keep going. Okay. Well, I'm going to be super clear with all the ones that I've listed off, and let me just tell you that it took me quite some time to actually list all of this off. Okay.
Boost your immune system.
Yep, immune system boost, yep. So how would that benefit you then?
So get sick less often.
All right. Anything else?
Able to do lots of really great exercises.
Okay. Cool. Anyone got any other ones? I'll start firing through mine then. I've got a lot of them. So I've broken them down into different categories. So a number on the scales versus all of these other benefits that we're going to go through, right? So people often get fixated on a weight target or a number on the scales. Okay, so I have had people, I've kind of really tried to steer away from it now, but I'd have people that when I tried to go through their goals with them, then they would give me a particular weight goal. I have agreed on those, but I'm going to push more and more to get away from that and keep it on size goals, because I think you get more consistency with that than you do with the number on the scales. It can be a bit volatile, but the size in the clothes is definitely more reliable and more consistent as well. Okay, so this often blinds people when they're fixated on the number on the scales. It can blind people to what else is happening on their journey when they change their nutritional choices, their relationship with food, and get regular exercise also. Okay, so today I will clarify what is going on while you're on this journey. Okay, so benefits that you are experiencing through eating healthier foods and exercising regularly. So some of these you might even not have initially thought of, and some of them you'll go, oh yeah, I am experiencing that. Okay, and there's a ton of them that I haven't included on here. Right, I'm going to have to shut this cat away before you... Right, giving the nutrients that your body that are essential for optimal health and day-to-day functioning. Lacking these nutrients results in illness and disease. It's not a cat, it's a guy blowing a whistle in an ice cream van, right? So anyway, when you lack nutrients, your body can become sick, basically, or you could be more susceptible to getting sick. So by eating healthier, you get all of these benefits. Health benefits, so add 10 quality years to your life, okay? So it may be more than 10 years or it may be less than 10 years, but what I mean by quality years is if you were to eat rubbish and just say, well, you know what, when my clock gets punched, I'm going to be in the ground anyway. That might be cool that you might live X amount of years, but if you have a Zimmer frame for a number of those years, or you're hunched forward, bent forward, and your body's stiff as hell and you can't even get anywhere near your toes when you reach down, all of those sorts of things, are they quality years, or could you have much better quality years by being able to move better? I think, you can get a lot of really good quality years if you look after yourself. Stronger bones and joints. So being able to have a higher quality of life in an older age and reduce risk of osteoporosis. So instead of being vulnerable and having weaker joints and bones, you have much stronger, particularly with doing resistance training. So when you do resistance training, it increases bone density. Increased bone density equals stronger bones, which are more durable and less are likely to actually get broken, although they can still obviously get broken, but they're less are likely to do so. Yeah, reduced or eradicated inflammation. So they say that actually a ton of disease, most diseases are related to inflammation in the body. So you have reduced inflammation if you eat more healthily, okay? Lower blood pressure as well. So if you've ever had elevated blood pressure, one of the ways that you can get that down is by eating more healthily, funnily enough. I trained a guy that still comes to me now, and he had high blood pressure. He was on medication for over a year. He exercised regularly, and yet his blood pressure was still high, but not super high. So I put him on that Whole 30 nutrition plan, which took out all of the potentially dodgy foods, and he followed it. And I measured his blood pressure 27 days later, and it was normal, right? And the medication had not brought it down to considered a normal. Exercise had not brought it down to a normal level either, but the nutrition did, and very quickly when he followed it was a strict plan, but it worked, and it got his blood pressure down to normal. Okay. Massively reduced risk of heart disease. So Scotland's #1 killer and the USA's #1 killer is heart disease. You can hugely reduce your risk of getting heart disease through eating more healthily and getting a bit of regular exercise as well. Yeah, hugely reduced risk of cancer as well. So I don't know if this number is exact, but certainly it was, I can't remember if I got that from an article or someone else I was watching, but they reckoned that about 13 of the different types of cancer were actually fed by sugar. Okay, so by cutting your sugar intake right down, you reduce your chances of getting those types of cancer. Prostate health. So I'm going to mute you guys, and then you can unmute yourselves if you want to comment or say anything at any point. Prostate health. So prostate cancer is the #1 cancer that kills men. It's the most common one that they get. Prostate health is something that improves through eating more healthily. Okay. Reproductive health as well. Heart health. Skin health. Vascular health. Immune health, so reduced risk of getting illnesses, bugs, and disease. Hormone balance, hallelujah. No more screaming bitches from hell. Okay, so eating lots of veg will help balance your hormones out, as I said earlier. Cell protection, brain health, reduced risk of Alzheimer's or dementia as well. Sugar's linked largely with that as well. You know, I mean, it's hard to, if you have a look around for yourself and see all sorts of different things that sugar can be linked with, one of them is you know, issues like that in the brain, deterioration in brain performance. On a personal level, I know that if I sit and have chocolate bars, then my concentration is not as good, and I know it's the opposite when I have a ton of veg and I eat really healthily, that my concentration and my thinking is quicker and much clearer as well. And with the exercise, the endorphins from the exercise, I find again that I can focus much better and think much more clearly. Memory recall is better, thought processes are faster, everything. There's definitely a big noticeable difference there. Okay, the possibility of being able to come off the medication. So obviously that's only with doctor's approval. They would have to look at that, but you have the opportunity, provided, you know, certain things. If you had an issue, whether that was high blood pressure, whether it was type 2 diabetes medication or other types of medications, if those issues were caused by lifestyle and you improve your lifestyle, then there's a potential to come off the medications. One of the big advantages of that is that medications are generally not good for your gut health because they destroy the good gut bacteria that you have in your gut for helping absorb food and absorb nutrients. So, and there's side effects obviously with everything as well, everything pharmaceutical. So if you are in a place where you weren't having to have them anymore, then you could be a lot better off health-wise for that, okay? Only with the doctor's approval, of course. Okay, happiness. So enhanced mood and happiness due to the endorphins that are released in your brain following exercise. So when you get that you get a feel-good factor. I find it lasts about 3 days after you've done a workout, and then it starts to tail off a bit after that. But it keeps you on a high for about 3 days, and you're like I said, you'll perform better. You'll feel happier as a result. Okay, so that gives you a reduced risk of ever suffering from depression or anxiety attacks. Now, that's not to say that just because you work out that you could never get any of those things. Of course, there is still a risk of that, but it's a lesser risk by far. You can definitely enhance mood and feel better through eating healthier and through their exercise as well. Okay, looking and feeling younger as well. Rolling back the clock, even 10 years plus, so it's possible to do that, especially the more years that you do it for, because to me the aging process is a slower process. So if you were slowing that down by 10% or 20% or whatever, obviously the more those years accumulate, the greater the difference between those who are old for the years and those who are young for the years. Okay, so the longer you go on looking after yourself, the more you'll find a difference between yourself and other people who have lived a much less healthy lifestyle. You will find that people will think that you're younger than you are. The longer that you can keep it going and the better that you keep looking after yourself, you'll be young for your years instead of an old fuddy-duddy. Okay. So looking considerably younger than you are and younger than your colleagues as well. Okay, that is 100% possible. Confidence. So getting amazing compliments from friends and family about how great you're looking. So it's a great feeling when people say, wow, you're looking great, or wow, look how much slimmer you're looking, or you look fantastic. And when you get those compliments, it's great. That helps boost your confidence massively. Body confidence. So by being happier in your own skin, it gives you more confidence in your own shape and your own body, and being able to expose parts of that, like wearing sleeveless dresses instead of covering up, and wearing a backless dress where your back's on show instead of being covered up, or whatever that is, okay, or showing your legs, whatever it is. Being able to fasten a seatbelt on an airplane without having to ask for an extender. So the reason I put that on there is because that very thing happened. I sat down with a guy and we went through his goals, and that was one of his goals, was being able to get on one of the things he told me was that he was embarrassed about the fact that when he went on a flight with his wife, he would always have to get an extender for his seatbelt, and he wanted to not have to go through that. Okay, so he did actually reach that goal. So when he went on his last holiday, he was able to get on the plane and not get that seatbelt extender, and didn't have to ask for it. And then he actually posted it on Facebook at the time, saying that was the first time ever that he hadn't had to ask for the seatbelt extender. So that gives you confidence. The fact that you're not having to do that. I mean, it can be humiliating having to ask for these things, So I'm not saying that to knock anybody down. I'm just saying that obviously, like it must be quite difficult to have to ask for things like that when you're on a flight, or even just the looks that people can give and stuff like that. That must be quite hard to take. And so when you have the opposite and you don't have to do those things, you get a massive confidence boost from that. Okay, so these are all real things that you can definitely 100% get from taking your focus off of the number on the scales and thinking about all of these things that you're getting that can be changing your life, and not just the number on the scale. Okay, Being seen looking happy in photographs. So this is a big one because people, oftentimes when I speak to people, I ask them about how they are in photographs, and they tell me that they hide behind people in photographs. They tell me that they tell people to take pictures only from the neck up, or they try and change their posture and change everything. And again, that's a big one, because you're spending your life like that with all these pictures, especially now with people having cameras on their phones and pictures being all the time getting taken and getting posted on social media all the time and stuff as well. So being able to actually be in photographs and no longer be hiding at the back and being right at the front of the photograph and being a lot happier with how you look and feel, again, is a big, massive confidence booster as well. Okay. So being able to wear a swimsuit again and feeling good in it as well. Sometimes there's people who won't go to the swimming pool with their kids because they don't want to be seen in a swimsuit, which I can totally understand. But when you get to that point that you can do something like that, then it's a big confidence booster. Being able to fit any clothes in a regular store rather than having to use specialist plus size stores. So again, I had a guy who was having to get stuff off of Giacomo and other stores that had bigger sizes, and he was delighted when he was able to go up the town with his wife and be able to go into regular shops and be able to get clothes to fit rather than having to go to these to specialist places with bigger size clothes that aren't normally on a normal rail in a regular store. So again, huge confidence boost from that. Okay, productivity in life and work as well. So much better energy each day to actually achieve more. Higher productivity and lesser days off work sick, meaning potentially better earnings as well. So not everybody gets sick pay, right? If you're self-employed and stuff like that, and not every employer gives sick pay either. So that could affect your earnings if you're off sick due to getting ill more often, etc. Okay. Better concentration levels and focus when at work and elsewhere as well. So again, these are all benefits that you're getting right now from changing your lifestyle, okay, and eating healthy. Yes,
they're all wow moments as well, and everybody should post more and more wow moments all the time, and examine the things that are making their lives even better. Because if you'd have put it like that, I could have told you a million.
Yeah, but you didn't think immediately. But my point is that people don't immediately think. What they think is the number on the scale.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot more going on than that. So day-to-day manual tasks becoming much, much easier. One of the ladies told me just this week. She said, "I'm moving house at the moment, and I was able to pick up a sofa and carry it. And when I was in the shop and I went to pick it up, the person said, no, don't you try and pick that up," insinuating that because she was female that she wasn't to pick it up. But she did pick it up and she carried the sofa. And she said, before I started coming along, I couldn't have done that, right? I wouldn't have been strong enough to pick it up. So again, another big booster in productivity in terms of what you can do, what you can put out day in and day out. Okay, right, this one as well is a big one as well. So people are always stereotyping, right? We all do it. People look at people and they start to think about what that person's going to be like. Let's say that you go for a job interview. So I'll tell you an example. One of the guys who is on one of our programs said that when he's going to hit the jobs market again soon, he's going to be up against people that are going to be they're going to be younger than him and going to be equally qualified, and he doesn't want to be the overweight one that's that bit older. He wants to have his life in order and appear to have his life in order. So because people are stereotyping, right, it's cruel, but we all do it, right? We all start to get perceptions in our head of what somebody is going to be like. If I was to say to you, and I read this in a book, I think it was a book about body language years ago, and they reckoned that when people are overweight, when they're bigger, they're stereotyped as being more emotional, okay? And people who are perceived to be fit looking, athletic, are perceived to be more self-sufficient, right? So I'm not saying that's right or wrong, right? But that is, and maybe that book's wrong, I don't know, but the people are stereotyping and they will think different things about you, okay, including potential employers. If you go to a potential employer and there's people, you go in the door and there's other people going in the door and you've all got your own different appearance based upon where you're at, that can affect people's judgment. I'm not saying it's right, but it happens. We all do it, right? So think about that as well. Okay, and so by leading a healthier lifestyle, by exercising, by eating more healthily, you better the chances of making that a better appearance, put it that way. Okay, that's just the brutal truth, right? That's the reality. I'm not. It's the way that people are. We're all prejudging. We're all stereotyping people all the time. Every time we look around us in the street and look at different people. Okay, so think about that. Okay, physical capabilities are enhanced as well. So things like increased lung capacity for performing anything physically demanding. So if you want to go and do anything that would normally get you out of puff, even if it was, you know, if it was climbing a big freaking flight of stairs somewhere. So even, let's say you were running late and you were arriving at Waverley Station in Edinburgh and you had to get up to Princess Street as quickly as you could. You can get up those stairs fast, right, without getting nearly as out of puff when you're a lot fitter and you've been eating healthier and you've been working out regularly than somebody else who would be absolutely hanging by the time they get halfway up. Yeah, ability to complete physical challenges like obstacle courses. So we've had loads of clients do Tough Mudder and different obstacle courses, charity 10K events as well, or half marathons and stuff as well. Okay. Ability to go hill walking. Okay, so again, there was one last year where one of the goals agreed with one of the guys was to go up Damaya, and so he did it, and then he did it umpteen times after that as well. Okay, rock climbing as well. So we've actually taken clients indoor rock climbing before, and we'll do it again. It's a great confidence booster once you get over. Well, you don't really necessarily get over the fear of heights, but you do it anyway, and it gets you out of that comfort zone, and it's a great confidence booster. But by working out, by eating more healthily, by looking after yourself, you have the ability to just get up hills, to go rock climbing, to do abseiling, to walk the West Highland Way, to climb the Eiffel Tower if you had to go up the stairs, to go up the Wallace Monument, or there's a type error in there, or even climb Mount Kilimanjaro, right? I've had somebody that came to me before that did that for charity. So you've got the ability to do stuff like that because you'll be looking after yourself. And these are all things that you're gaining, right? Not just a number on a scale, okay? Saving you time and money. So it's highly unlikely to ever, you're highly unlikely to ever require dental fillings if you minimize your exposure to sugary foods. And I'm not talking about bits of fruit necessarily for that. I'm talking about obviously energy drinks, which can rot the hell out of your teeth. I worked with a guy years ago, and he was drinking tons of Red Bull, and he reckoned that rotted the hell out of his teeth, which it probably did, in fairness. So anything like that, that's kind of sugary drinks and stuff like that. So this is saving you time and money. If you're not having to go to the dentist and get fill-ins, and you're not having to get that dental work done, that's saving you money, it's saving you time. Okay. Eye health. So so some people need glasses, right? But you do get eye health partly from your lifestyle. So you have a lesser likelihood of a need for spectacles, which means you could potentially save time and save money with that as well. Okay, so it's not going to be for everybody, but that can happen. It's a possibility. Your kids do what you do, not what you say. Always remember that, right? Because you are the one, you are, if you look all the time, you see parents and kids, and they look so similar in terms of body type, etc. Okay, so what you do, your kids are going to do. So remember that as well, because it might have been tough for you, but I tell you what, it's going to be tougher for them. If you never had Monster with 16 teaspoonfuls of sugar in one can, they didn't have that when I was a kid, right? They had plenty other crappy fizzy drinks, and I drank all of them, right? But it's worse now. There's more aggressive TV advertising. There's more sweets at eye level for kids. There's more marketing directly to kids. Little dinosaur pictures and cartoon characters on junk food, right? That the food companies know what they're doing to get your kids eating crap, right? And it's more aggressive than it ever was. When I was a kid, you didn't have I don't think anyway that you had entire aisles devoted to energy drinks. Like, you had a lot of sugary drinks, but you maybe got, I don't know, half an aisle, right? But you didn't. Now you've got you've got a massive range of energy drinks. Like, you had like Lucozade, and that was about it when I was a kid. Now you've got Lucozade, you've got Monster, you've got Red Bull, you've got there's another one that's got kind of, I can't remember the name of it anyway, but you've got a lot of different ones now that you just didn't have, and things have gone worse. Your kids are going to have it worse. They're going to find it harder until proper action is taken, right? So your kids are going to do what you do, not what you say. So it's vitally important for you to set the right example so that they are on the right track, okay? Setting a great example to your kids, usually reducing their chances of adopting unhealthy lifestyle choices and ending up obese, humiliated, bullied, embarrassed, and sick. So all of those things can happen, unfortunately, but that's where we're at with things at the moment. That is a very, very real risk for them, okay? Being able to play with the kids without being exhausted or embarrassed. So, you know, there's people that come forward that are not in a position to run about with kids. I had a lady in her 60s come to me who was the mother of one of my other clients, and she would come in and get a training program from me regularly, and she would work on it, and I got her eating better and all that as well. And she said that she could run around with her granddaughter, and what she couldn't do before, you know, and she was able to run around and pick her up and lift her up and do physical things with her that she couldn't do previously. So you can get all of that from eating healthier, training regularly. Much better chance of having a healthy baby rather than one born with illnesses as well. There's no public, well, I don't see any public information related to that. I got that from a book that was written by a guy called Weston Price, and he wrote it in the 1930s, and he went out and he spent time with different tribes around the world, and some of those tribes don't even exist anymore, so that experiment cannot be repeated, what he did. But he was a dentist, and he was passionate about teeth, so he used that as one of the gauges of your health. So dental health is a big reflection of your overall health. And what he did was he went to all these different tribes throughout the world, and he tracked them all, and he looked at incidents of dental decay. He looked at the jaw size, and he measured it all, and he measured the dental arch, which is when you open your mouth and you've got that arch shape. He measured all of those, and he looked at, he got skulls from the ground, etc., from the dead, and he measured theirs, and he checked if there was a difference between the last generation and this generation. And then he checked Westerners as well, and he looked at their health, their dental health, their risk of you know, babies being born with defects, okay? And he measured it all, and then he put people from these tribes onto a Western diet, and this was a 1930s Western diet, right? It was way better than the crap that we are getting now, and the decay and the deterioration in those people was shockingly bad. And he put it all together in a book, right? And I've got a copy of that book as not in paper form because it's hard to get, but I've got a copy of it as in electronic format if anybody would actually like to look at it. But what he also, even in that era when, you know, photography was not as obviously as common back in the 1930s, but he said in the book, he said, in order to properly show the evidence of this, the best way is to put it in pictures. And so he did take pictures, and he took the pictures and recorded everything. and you could see the massive deterioration in people through eating crap, right? And to me, it's scandalous that you don't walk in a doctor's office and have that all over the walls, or when someone's pregnant, I think they should be getting advised on the nutrition, because that's being passed on to the baby. That's my opinion, right? But it doesn't happen. It just doesn't seem to be the focus at all yet, but it will come given time. Okay, so in my opinion, rightly or wrongly, it's my opinion that you're much more likely to have a healthy baby rather than one that has issues if you eat healthily. That's my view. And a lot of these people in these tribes that Weston Price witnessed and spent time with actually did, even though they didn't have exposure to the sugary junk crap that we have, they even tightened up what they were eating prior to becoming pregnant and through pregnancy as well. Some of those tribes, you had like a kind of culture passed on through the generations of eating better, even better, and they weren't eating a lot of crap. They were, the only kind of sugar and stuff that they likely had would have been some type of fruit, and maybe even something like syrup or honey or something like that, and that was about it. Even then, they knew to eat healthier in order to deliver a healthy child. Okay. So in addition to all of the above that I've just gone through, which was pretty lengthy, and that was all the stuff that came off the top of my head, right? And you guys have come up with some other answers that I hadn't even thought of. You also get reduced risk of death due to falling. So again, something that doesn't seem to be common knowledge. I picked this up recently from someone that was given a talk on various things that were fitness and health related. And it was an older guy that trains, and he's been training for 52 years, and he's in excellent shape, and he looks a hell of a lot younger than he is, etc. And he was saying that for people in his age category, that there was a really high level of people dying through injuries sustained from falling. Okay, and he was saying it doesn't seem to be public knowledge, but loads of people end up getting injuries through falling that end up leading to either death or due to a deterioration in the quality of their life due to the injuries that they sustain. Okay, so your chances of having that happen are reduced through the better coordination, movement, and strength that you have through doing the exercise. Okay. Weight reduction, hallelujah. So you also you'll notice that I left that to the end, okay, because I'm not focusing this on the scales and the number in the scales, but you do get weight reduction, you get size reduction, and into smaller clothes, sometimes sizes that you haven't been into in decades. You also get increased lean muscle tissue, keeping your metabolism up. So your metabolism is largely based on your amount of lean muscle tissue. So you get that from doing resistance-based exercise. And it also keeps you looking more toned and fit because you've got the lean muscle there, and you've got, when people get older, the amount of lean muscle does deteriorate, but if you're working out, and you're more likely to hold on to more of the lean muscle, and that in itself can help to keep you not only performing better, but looking more toned and fit as well. So you get all of these things, right? And like I said, I did all of that off the top of my head this afternoon, okay? Between yesterday afternoon and this afternoon. So let's imagine that you have a choice to make right now, okay? You can have everything that I just listed off as benefits that you're getting from leading a healthier lifestyle, okay? Including all of that and some weight reduction and some size reduction, right? You can have all of that and more, because there's other things that other people listed that I hadn't thought of to put in here. Or you can have none of that, but you can have the number that you want on the scales. Which choice would you make?
A.
Yeah. So to my mind, it's not a hard choice, but maybe people, my hope from putting this on here is so that people can obviously realize that there's a lot more going on here than there is just a number on the scale, okay? So I can understand why people might get disappointed with a number on a scale, but to my mind, you're getting a huge amount of benefit from the changes that you're making in your lifestyle, right? Not just a number on a scale, okay? So, does anybody seem to agree with that, or think that makes sense, or disagree with any of it? I mean, do any of you think that I'm like humming up too much and it's not actually that cool and that there's some bullshit in there or whatever? Does anyone have any comments on any of that?
I've actually said to a number of people before that, you know, even if you aren't seeing very much coming down in weight, that we should be doing this for the health reasons and for all the things you've listed, because that's the way we live now, and it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. You know, the weight loss is almost a side effect.
Yep, it is. It's almost like when you look at everything that I just listed off there, it's a bit like saying, right, you're going to inherit a beautiful mansion, right? And you look at it and it's amazing, and you say, nah, you know what? I don't like the color of the door. You know, you're getting all of that benefit, and that is life changing, or it can be if you let it be. And so the number on the scales is like the importance of the number on the scale is peanuts compared to all of that, or to me it is anyway. But people do get fixated on that number. Okay, any comments? And I'm going to give you a little something to work on to change mindset, or to attempt to change mindset, so that the number on, obviously I would like to think that having seen all of that you would agree with the majority of that, and that you wouldn't then be focused on the number on the scales. But I'm going to give you a little exercise as well to help with changing that focus as well. So any comments or anything before we go on to that?
I'll not deny that I do have a number on the scale as a goal.
Yep.
And I completely agree with everything that you've said. And in actual fact, it's more about aesthetically an area that I would like to improve the appearance of, which is more important. Okay. But I don't know, I think a part of it, and I counsel myself all the time that, you know, it really doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter how long it takes to get there either. The point is that this is the way I live now, and this is the way I eat and how I exercise, and I'll get there when I get there. But just sometimes I do get a little bit frustrated, and I can't help it. I don't know.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay, right. No, I get that, but maybe just take the focus off of the number on the scale and try and come up with some other targets that don't focus.
Derek, I think sometimes it's easier because you can jump on the scales and see that you've had a loss, and sometimes you didn't see a loss on your body straight away, because you're looking at yourself all the time, and different if you've got a jacket that's too small, but it's easier to jump on the scales, and it's just a girl thing that's what we do. We jump on the scales and we kind of have lost or if we've gained.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes I think if maybe that £2 coming off your body, you can't actually see it coming off. So I don't know if that's maybe, for me anyway, I just kind of...
Okay. Sometimes
taking photographs more often is the thing to do for yourself. I don't do it, but I should, because then you would see it a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah, in your clothes, I think the clothes are a really, really big gauge. Certainly, something I notice in myself. If I gain or drop pounds, then I can really see it in the clothes. You know, just the way that they fit. So much more so than any number on the scales. I go on the scales now and again and check, but I can definitely notice it in the clothes first. If I'm not going on the scales, then I notice it in my clothes. You know, without a doubt. One of the great gauges is the hole on the belt. So when you put on the belt and you go, right, I'm on that hole, and then you get to the next hole, then it's great. But if you notice that it's going the other way, then that's also a bit of feedback for you. So that can be a factor as well. You know? And the more lean you get, the more you can see of your body, and then the more you can see your kind of definition, and then yeah, again, you can see if you get more pounds off, that you get more defined, and you start to see more muscle shape and stuff like that. Things, the back of the arms are often quite a good one to see on ladies that are coming when they get trimmer, and you can start to see the definition on the back of the arms whenever they're extending their arms, the definition that you just never had before, you know. So it's another indicator.
I've measured myself. I measured my neck, my left arm, my bust, my waist, my hips, my calf, my thigh, and underneath my bust as well. So I have many measurements as well that I track.
Yeah. I've got body fat calipers that I can actually do measurements with those, and they give a pretty good accuracy. I don't tend to usually do it with clients because it can be a little bit intrusive if people are maybe not so keen on getting something that is, it's a skinfold caliper, so it pinches a bit around the waistline, or you can do it on like back of the arms and stuff as well. But I do have the opportunity, and I do have the facility there to do body fat measurements with those if need be, if people actually want to get them done. But again, you know, even just your clothes can be a great gauge, or focusing your mind on all of these other things that you're experiencing along the way as well, because they're all wins and they're all life-changing, or they can be very life-changing, not just for you but for your kids as well, you know. So.
I mean, I think you've got to be really careful with weight, in that you can very easily set yourself an unrealistic goal. I mean,
yep.
You look at these charts that are out and healthy weight ranges that people are supposed to have, and when I started at Results, gave myself a weight goal in my head that I decided I wanted to be. I am nowhere near that weight. I am nearly a stone heavier than that weight.
You wouldn't want to be.
If I lost another stone now, I think I would look very unhealthy.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, you because of the resistance training that you're doing, you've got a lot more muscle on you. So if you only ever did running, if you only ever did cardio exercise and went on some extreme low calorie type of diet plan, then you probably could reach that target body weight. But in terms of your strength level, in terms of your overall health, it wouldn't be anything like it as good, you know.
No.
So, yeah, because you've got more muscle than you would have had if you've previously shed a lot of pounds, you know. So yeah, that can happen.
I had a great moment actually on Tuesday, because it's getting colder. I went and got some of my winter running stuff out, and I've got a wee body warmer type jacket that I put on some of the slightly colder days, and I put it on Tuesday, and it's massive on me. Whereas, you know, last year I probably was lucky if I could get it zipped up.
Yeah.
So I'm really, my weight is not that different than what it was this time last year, but my body shape is immensely different.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really hard stopping weighing myself and stopping worrying about that number on the scales, because that's what, as a society, we're led to believe that that's the important thing, is how much we weigh.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Fat Club starting back up again at work, because it's 8 weeks till Christmas. They're starting a Slim for Santa Club, and we're having a debate about it today. We're talking about it, and I said, I'm not taking part, but I don't mind being your weigh-in person or whatever. I'll help out if you want me to. And they were all saying, "Oh, you don't need to take part, Christine. You're 8 stone. You're this. You're that." And I says, "I'm nowhere near that weight."
Yeah.
You don't have a perception of how heavy or light someone is, but it is just a number, because two people that weigh exactly the same weight can look totally different.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when you get one of these charts about ideal weight, it doesn't, well, first of all, if it's based on BMI as well, BMI was corrupted for one, so the number was lowered deliberately to reclassify more people as being overweight, because pharmaceutical companies bribed somebody to get that number down, because they had a lot of products that were for tackling weight and tackling obesity. So in order to sell more of their product, they needed more customers. And in order to get more customers, they bribed an official advisor to the US government to knock the BMI upper limit down from 27 down to 25. Okay, and there's an interview with that guy that actually played that role in the series called The Men Who Made Us Fat or The Men Who Made Us Thin, because I watched both of those mini-series. One of them's in 4 episodes, the other's in 3 episodes. You'll find them on YouTube. And the guy's actually interviewed in that, and he admits to that, and he says that pharmaceutical companies sent him checks for hundreds of thousands of dollars a time to get that number down so that they could sell more of their product. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is bone density is a part of that. So for someone who is a scientific type, bespeckled, teeth-owl, four-headed type of dude, they have, you know, that might have a really, really small frame. I've got a very, very small frame, so I can get, even I'm over on BMI. I was 25.3 the last time I checked mine, which was a number of years ago. Which means I'm over by 0.3 over the upper limit. I've got a small frame, but for someone who's got bigger bone density and a broader kind of build, there's not a bloody chance in hell that they're going to get down to under 25 BMI, or that they're going to get into these recommended weight ranges. A lot of it's just utter crap, you know. So I would never, ever base my target body weight on just what's on their charts, because one, it can be corrupted, and two, it's nonsense anyway, you know. So anyone with a bit of lean muscle on them is never going to hit those kind of targets, because when you've got that muscle, it's increasing your body weight, and if you've got, you know, good bone density or a good broad build, then again, it's going to be exceptionally difficult to actually reach any of those unrealistic targets. No?
I do think that sometimes it's when you've been quite overweight, it can be quite difficult to like properly see yourself, mm-hmm. and to have a realistic impression of what you actually look like, yeah. And so therefore it could be difficult to know, you know, where you are on your journey, and how much further, mm-hmm. how much more you have to go.
Yeah,
I think that could be something that's difficult.
Sure. Well, the only way you know is really when you get there. Really, you keep progressing to a point, and then you get to a kind of stagnant body weight, but you're performing really well in terms of, you know, where your fitness is at, and in terms of where your health is at, and then that's it. You get to that point, and then you're assigned that you're happy with. It's hard to say, because I mean, realistically, if you speak to anyone ever, anywhere, ever, they'll never ever say, "Oh yeah, I'm totally happy with the way that my body is, and I wouldn't change a thing." You know, they'll never ever say that. You've never heard anyone saying that ever anywhere. So regardless of where you get body weight wise, size wise, etc., there'll always be some things that you would change given the opportunity. You know? And that's I've never heard anyone ever say that they're totally happy exactly the way that they are. You know? So that's just the way it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other comments? No. Right. Cool. So, what option are you going to choose? So you would choose, I would like to think that everybody would choose option A and forget about the option B, that number on the scale, and go with everything else. So I'm going to be, you know, getting people to focus more and more on the health, and the weight will come, because, you know, I think it's a better way to do it. I know that people are still going to have, you know, targets in their head, and I want people to have goals, obviously, but I want to focus on the health, okay? Because that is one thing that does separate what you're doing here from diet clubs and Herbalife and Juice Plus and all of that kind of bullshit, because they aren't health. right? But what you're doing is healthy. It's not just based on calorie counting, right? And it's not just based on having a shake and not eating real food, right? So it is a proper plan of health, and so that is much more valuable in terms of what you get out of it than just having some calorie counting plan or counting points or
I think for me as well, Derek, I think it's more about you're teaching a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. So it really, because you hear them in the media and all this stuff, and they will tell you, oh, it's got to be lifestyle changes, but they don't actually teach you how to do that. And so this is more about, it's a lifestyle change, and this is not supposed to be something that you do for X weeks until you get to a weight on the scales. It is more, this is my life now. This is how I live it.
Yeah, ideally that's what it's meant to be. It is lifestyle change, and it has to be able to work around your lifestyle. And this is where again, you get other things like, you get these residential boot camps and stuff where you go away for 7 days and, you'll drop a few pounds while you're away. And they'll teach you maybe a bit about nutrition, but they'll make you eat the food that they put in front of you, and they'll put you through a ton of activity while you're there. Or you go to the Biggest Loser camp and you're locked up 24/7 and stuff. And that can work because you're fully accountable, you're being looked after, you're getting all the meals put in front of you, all that kind of stuff, and that's great. But that's not working around somebody's real lifestyle. It has to be able to work around your job. It has to be able to work around your kids. It has to be able to work around what you do day to day, the amount of time that you have, the amount of financial muscle that anybody has, everything. So it's got to work around your lifestyle and be realistic, and then trying to keep it healthy as well. So it does make it makes it more of a challenge at my end, and it makes it more of a challenge at your end as well. But the results long term, in terms of what you get, are a hell of a lot better in my mind in terms of what I see. Like I've heard people say, oh, at one time I was this weight and I looked really unhealthy, right? I don't see people walking around coming in downstairs into the studio that look like they are unhealthily underweight because they are eating healthily, and because they are doing resistance-based exercise, they have a bit of lean muscle, they have a bit of shape, they have fitness, they have strength. Now, people are at different builds and at different stages of the journey. But if you see people that go on diet clubs that have low-fat everything, and they're still eating crap, right? What they're eating stuff that's really unhealthy, but they're just eating really small quantities of it. Those people don't look healthy, and they are the ones that say, oh, I got to this weight, but I looked really unhealthy, because they look gaunt, they look drawn, etc. Right? And anybody who, I know that somebody that followed one of my plans before that posted something up along those lines quite recently. The person who did that didn't follow my plan the way that it was meant to be followed, and that person, what used to, come in and say, oh, I just forgot to eat, I just forget to eat, I just don't eat when I get busy and stuff like that. And so that's why they were where they were, not because of anything that I recommended ever. Okay, if there was something wrong with my recommendation and people were unhealthy because of it, then I'd bloody change it. I wouldn't try and sell anybody into something that was going to be harmful to them in any way, shape or form. I'm trying to make this as healthy as possible and trying to have it work around people's lifestyle as well, as best as possible. Now, not everybody will make it, and it's not always easy, but it's worth it. In my mind, it's worth it for you and for me, in terms of what you get out of it, and in terms of me feeling that what I'm doing is helping you as well, and not just putting people on as something that's totally unrealistic, unsustainable, and or unhealthy, like selling Herbalife or something like that. Okay, so in order to get you focusing, is the glass half full or half empty? So if you're getting all of these benefits, but the number on the scale isn't quite where you want it to be yet, doesn't that bring you back to the old, is the glass half full or is it half empty? So that question. Okay. So in order to overcome this, you can do the following. So this is where it's going to get a little bit more woo-woo, right? But I've come across this several times in terms of books that I've read, in terms of interviews with people as well that I have watched as well. There's and I do it myself. I do this every day now as well, and I feel that's highly beneficial for doing it. But it's not going to be for everyone because it's a self-help thing for mindset. But I'm only giving you the option because for me it's been highly beneficial. Okay, so what you do is you practice gratitude every day. Okay, so instead of focusing on what you don't have, you focus on what you do have. All right. Think about this, and this is what somebody said on. I think this was in one of the books I read before, but this was also done in a book called 59 Seconds, which is by a Professor Richard Wiseman, and it had all these. It had different kind of social experiments, and they found that people's mood was better when they practiced being grateful for things rather than getting pissed off about things that they don't have. And we all do that. We all get cheesed off at times, right? But I do this daily, and it makes a big difference for me. And I find that the longer you sustain doing it, or the more consistently you do it, the better overall your mindset will be. So I want to give you this pointer in the hope that it will help you. So practicing gratitude daily. So every day, early in the day, write down 3 things for which you're grateful. Okay? So it was in that book, that 59 Seconds, but not just there. I've come across this several times of different things that I've been doing, practicing gratitude every day, and I found that it definitely helps me. Okay, so what I do is I go on and I type them out early in the day, and I put 3 things for which I'm grateful every single day. Now, it doesn't have to be big, major things, right? It doesn't have to be materialistic stuff. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. It can be simple things like, I'm grateful for my back because it hasn't caused me any problems for 5 years, right? Now, that like, you don't know how grateful you would be for that until you actually end up in agony in your back, and then you would be so grateful when that pain is gone, right? But you can also practice being grateful for things like things that aren't so good, because they could always be worse, right? So let's say that, like, for example, on my own level, I've had that piriformis issue to deal with, which is managed, but it was still bad, and it was excruciatingly painful at times. And one of the things that when I've been putting down things that I'm grateful for, and I put down different things all the time, I've put down, I've sat and written that I'm grateful for my piriformis, though even though it's caused me pain, it's gotten me through my entire life up to this point without any pain, and it's only now that I've gotten some pain from it, and it's on the mend, and it's a lot better. So I'm grateful for that, and even if it wasn't 100%, I'd still be grateful because it's got me through my life, right? So it can be anything like that. It could be gratitude for, there's one thing that we all have access to that is absolutely free, that we just totally take for granted. And if you couldn't have it, you would give everything that you have right now in order to get it very, very quickly if it was taken away from you. Does anybody know what that one thing is?
Air?
Yes, your next breath. If you didn't have your next breath, you would give everything that you've got in order to get it, and you give it all away quickly, very, very quickly, to get your next breath. So that because it's so valuable, and because you've got such a strong survival instinct, but we don't think about that because we just take it for granted that it's there. Okay, but be grateful for various different things in your life. Like I said, it might be a bit woo-woo for some people, but I'm giving you the option. It's worked for me. It's helped me have better focus. And I know that I've been ungrateful plenty of times about different things, but do this every day, and I find that it's helping all the time, changing, improving mindset all the time. So you've got nothing to lose by doing it. Give it a blast. I use Evernote on my laptop, my tablet, and my phone, and it shares the content between any of the devices. It's like stored online, and I type up every day 3 things for which I'm grateful, and I put it in every single day. Okay, so give it a blast. Even just do it for a month and see how you feel afterwards. Maybe you won't think it's life-changing. Maybe you'll notice that you just feel a bit better. Maybe you'll find that you're a little bit more positive. Maybe you'll find that things just work a little bit better for you. I don't know. One thing that somebody said, though, in one of the books that I read that did have this in it, about being grateful, and you can think about this because it does make sense. The author of the book said that if you gave somebody a gift, right, she reckoned, the author of the book said that everything that you give out comes back to you, right? Everything that we do is like throwing out a boomerang and getting it coming back. And she said, if you gave a gift to somebody and they just said, you know, oh, I don't like it, I don't like the wrapping paper, or, you know, if they had that kind of attitude to it and they just took it for granted and they weren't grateful, would you want to give them another gift? And the answer to that is no. And so if you're not being grateful for what you get, then why would life give to you? Why would the universe give to you? Why would you get good coming to you if you're not grateful for it? So if you could be grateful for it, it would just help change your focus. So you could be grateful for the body weight that you've dropped so far, even though the number on the scale is not where you yet want it to be. You could be grateful for if you only drop 1 pound in the next month, you could be grateful for that because it's another pound off, right? And again, it's just changing that focus away from what you don't have and focusing on what you are getting and what you are seeing or what you're experiencing in your life rather than complaining about something that you don't have, okay? So I hope that helps you with that. Like I said, it might not be for everyone, but you've got nothing to lose by doing it, so crack on and do it, huh? And see how you feel when you do it, okay? Right, get to it. So you can start by writing down 3 things for which you're grateful ASAP as soon as you get off of this call. And then
Results.
Well, I'm grateful that you've come along and that you're a great customer and that you're enthusiastic about everything as well. And the fact that you help other people as well is really fantastic. So thank you very much.
I thought that was really great tonight, Derek.
Well, thank you. I hope that helps you and the others that watch it, not just the people that are on live as well, because hopefully some other people will watch it, especially people who are maybe getting, you know, caught up in the numbers on the scale. Okay. Right, cool guys. Any questions, comments, or anything else?
No.
Right, thanks for watching today. Get to the gratitude. Okay.
Thanks very much.
Right, thank you. Right, we'll see you later.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.